almost there. I'll give it one more. All right, there we go. Let's get this rolling.
All right, buddy.
I think this could be a little bit different than a few of the Instagram lives they've done in the past. A little bit more of like a founders episode. We're not going to talk as much about the product and all the benefits. We'll touch on it, but it's more kind of think about what happens when two friends with a long history come together to work on a new venture with a couple other awesome people. Actually, I don't think anyone in business school ever thought that we would get to this point and make it happen, especially in the nutrition space. I mean, maybe if we did like DraftKings or something like that, it would have been a little more realistic. But also just kind of want to throw this out there too. But these lives are normally kind of short form. They're like 10 minutes and they kind of chat through a couple things. But since we have the car, I figured let's just drive it till the wheels fall off.
I can't believe the ladies are letting us do this. This could be the first and last.
I know. What do you think of the collared shirt, man?
I know, it looks good. You even showered and cleaned up. I'm like,
I know.
Oh, I'm impressed.
I'm still in the basement. I'm just in a different type of basement these days.
That's all right. I came up from the dungeon downstairs to get some fresh air. So
yeah, there you go. So let's just jump in, man. How long have we known each other?
Would have been 99, 27, just about this time, getting into the fall when school started in 1999. Yeah, I remember the first day of orientation when everybody showed up and we were assigned to the same section. We hadn't met Anita yet. She was in a different section. She was probably thankful for that, especially at the time. But yeah, 27 years ago, buddy.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't want to correct you on it, but I just need to point out not everyone showed up on that first day.
That's a good point. We have one close buddy that came in hot a couple days late, but thank God he did. Thank God he did.
Exactly. But along those lines, I think it was probably not long after that we started talking about working together and starting a company together. Now, 27 years later, here we are, man. I mean, lots happened. Tell me about it, man. How did you come to BRYTR Days? You're working on billion-dollar brands. You're, hundreds of $1 million of budget. And, I got to a place in my life where I was working on this by myself. Anita came on board. We're a tiny little company, man. It's a whole different ballgame than what you've been used to. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, man, it's interesting. I mean, you and I have talked about this a lot. I think life comes at you pretty quick. And pretty fast. I think we both got dealt some interesting hands in different ways through life. All great stuff. I think we're both very fortunate to have two wonderful kids. Thank God for all four of those little troublemakers. But I think you go into business school, you talk about what could be, and then I remember the day we all left, and it was like, man, I wonder who we're going to stay in touch with, and how this is going to play out. And I think we took different paths. You went out to New York. I kind of did the corporate route and went up to Minneapolis and General Mills. And, you never know where life is going to take you in good ways and then in some challenging ways. And I think BRYTR Days for me is maybe best suited as kind of like chapter 2, chapter 3, or maybe it's a hell of a lot later than that. But the reality is, I was a little bit burned out with where I was after about 25 years of doing corporate America. I don't regret a single bit of it. Had amazing experiences, amazing friends and network. But I think for me, when the kids and I lost their mom, it was time to sort of reevaluate. And I think you kind of feel the same way and for a different reason, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this came out of just having a little bit of free time after I was diagnosed with cancer, when I was going through all the treatment. It's like, I mean, you and I talk all the time. A lot of our, when we talk about the product, it's like life comes at you fast and you don't have time to plan everything out. And I think when you kind of go through business school and you start your career, I mean, that train left the station quick. I mean, to quote Ron Burgundy, I mean, that thing escalated quickly. And it's hard to get off, right? And so, I was personally forced to just take some time and take time to do nothing. And it was during that time where I had asked my oncologist, just naturally the way that I think, but I was like, what caused this? I mean, it was gut cancer, right? I mean, it happens somewhere in the food that we eat and the way that we process it. And she said, oh, don't worry about it. We'll get you treatment and you're going to be fine. And I wasn't okay with that, not because it's not, I mean, she did her job. She did it great. That's just not her area to work in. So I kind of wanted to explore that a little bit more and figure out what's going on, man. And figure out a way that I could try to make my life a little bit better. Dude, I had a lot of free time, um, and wasn't physically capable of doing a lot. So it was kind of a forced break, which I didn't have before. Uh, but it turned it into something awesome. Super excited about it, and um, not only that, but it was like something that I found like as a great product that I made it for myself. Found out that it benefited a lot of other people. I think we pivoted at that point to see
Yeah.
how we make this into a company, and then to get you guys on board, man. Anita came on board. Obviously, what people don't know, my wife, sister-in-law Sonia came on board. You came on board. Our chief science officer, Manisha, who's just one of the most brilliant minds in formulation and in business too, came on. And all of a sudden, we had this kind of awesome little team doing great things, but I think in a different way than we'd always done before, right? I mean, we didn't have the budget. We didn't have board meetings and board calls and meetings to plan for meetings and calls to see what we were going to talk about. It was kind of like, how do we build this company? And it wasn't just about how do we offer a different product. I think we've joked in the past that if there was ever a business school case that was written about it, it wouldn't necessarily be about the product. It would be about how we built a different culture and a different company in this economy where, you don't need everyone that's been on board before. And, we're scrappy. You do things that you probably didn't think you'd be doing. I do things that I didn't think I was doing. I mean, I just did payouts today and I'm happy about it, right?
I'm glad. I was going to ask you about that after the call. No, it's fascinating. It's fun late in life to do something completely different. And when you triangulate kind of the product with the brand and the people and being surrounded by people you love, which I think the five of us have a absolutely fantastic time working together, and that means the world to me. You bring a different level of accountability to the table. Not that we weren't accountable in our previous lives by any stretch, but I feel so unbelievably vested in this just based on the stories, how it's impacted me from a product standpoint. I think I got the product 3 months ago, 3.5 months ago. Haven't literally, I don't think I've missed a day. Maybe I missed one because I forgot it when I was traveling. But I'm a believer in the product. And more importantly, I'm kind of a believer in helping other people and doing something with a little bit of a purpose. And in a small way, running a small business or trying to build a small business, it's way harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
You flex a different muscle. You have to learn. You have to be very humble. Even today, we were on with Anita. We were on with like 3 different calls with 3 different potential partners, and you get to the end of that, and it's like you have to make choices. You have to make bets, and it, it's a it's great later in a career to be able to flex that kind of learning muscle again. And to me, that's been a huge benefit and a huge reward. It's just fun learning new stuff. I think you feel the same way. Like payouts in our app that we have to do from a commission standpoint, like takes time, and you have to figure it out. But yeah, it's fun, man. I mean, you would agree. Are you having a different level of fun doing this than you ever have doing anything else?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and like you said, there's some days where it's frustrating where I got locked out of our PayPal account
Sure.
today and I had to try to figure out how to get back into it. I'm an IT guy and all those things. I want to touch on something you said because there's a word that you use that's specific to a lot of what we do, and you said partner, right? Like I think a lot of times when you're in corporate America, you hire whether it's an agency or a group of people to do something, and we're really specific on who we're looking for.
Hmm.
We're looking for the right type of people, not just the results, but the people who kind of care about the purpose, care about the cause, care about building business the right way. And I think that's one of the things that I love about it the most, to be honest. Like, dude, we've met some great people even today with the conversations we have. And it's funny. I mean, one of the conversations we had today, they were like, I want to just pause here because that was so touching. And I just literally have like shivers thinking about what you guys are building because I've gone through this, right? And I think it's kind of the reality of why we're doing this that we live in a world, and I don't want to get too soapboxy here. We live in a world where a lot of people are kind of like put their best self forward. Is it the real self? Not always. But the reality is life's tough and we all go through something, and we're just trying to make it a little bit easier. So to find these people and to have real conversations, which by the way, they're business conversations that are real, which is even crazier, right? It's just fun, man. It's like you just have like real life conversations, and but while doing good work and moving the needle, and we don't always do it right. I mean, think about it's funny. I'm just getting notices about all our trademarks being abandoned that I registered a year ago because we pivoted so far from our company name to kind of what the product name was to what we're doing. And it's just like I think a lot of times you MBA-atize things too much. Like, oh, we gotta do all these things. We need a roadmap, which we do. We have a roadmap. I'm not saying we don't. We have to trademark these things, and it kind of has made me pull back to a sense where it's like, all right, let's just pause and see what it works. Let's see if that's the way we want to go. And if we do, then we'll get the trademark, or then we'll put everything in there. And there's just a time in the business world where we can do that, right? It didn't
Yeah.
happen 25 years ago when we jumped on this train.
Well, and it's interesting. I couldn't agree more. And I think one of the things I love about what we're trying to build and building is reserving the right to get smarter and iterating. Because to your point, it is, and I think I said it earlier, this is the most humbling job I've ever had. From getting locked out to accounts to trying to learn Canva to understanding Klaviyo and direct marketing and performance marketing and meeting with partners that hands down know more than we do about this side of the business. I mean, Anita's different. She comes from that side of it, the direct selling, and she's got more D2C experience than you and I. Thank God, by the way.
Right.
And she's so good at what she does. But I think the reality is like we have to reserve the right to get smarter. But at the end of the day, this is also a product that's making a difference for people, and it's made a difference for me. It's making a difference for people, and when we can do that and build a company and then do it with people you love, like to me, it's taking the worst thing that's happened in our lives or our personal experiences and trying to turn it into something different.
The cool thing about it too is, I mean, you've been on the corporate side where you're trying to hire someone, you put together the rec, and you're looking for what their traits are, what their experience is, and all of that. We put together this little team of five, and I think if you threw together a Venn diagram, the overlapping area is about like 5 to 10%
Yeah.
tops.
Yeah.
That we all just bring a totally different experience and a total different just the way we look at it. But then we also, that kind of overlap gets bigger when we just jump in, right? Everyone has to just volunteer to do something that none of us have done before. I mean, you joke all the time. I mean, it's not necessarily a joke; it's reality about like, hey, we signed up for Shopify. We've got everything we need, and now we've got
Yeah.
10 different plugins that we're trying to integrate. Who's going to own this and who's going to own that? But we just jump in and make it happen. And the crazy thing is, we don't do it by working harder. I think
No.
this is one of the best, work-life balances I've ever had. But we just get stuff done.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. It's when you start a new business, I agree. And on one side, I'm like, yeah, I hear you. And we get it done, and you're more efficient with the time that you have. The small team and how tight we are and close we are means we can make decisions quickly. The other thing I love is that when we make a call, we don't revisit it. We just move, right, wrong, or indifferent. And I do think that's unique for a business like ours, but I think it comes with trust and the relationships that we've built. That being said, it is, starting a business like this is kind of all consuming on the other side, which is why you do have to take a beat. You do have to sort of sit back and be like, why are we on this journey? Versus thinking about the tasks and the go to market lists and all the stuff we have to do, because it can become overwhelming. It hasn't, because I think we have that group mentality and that team mentality of when we do start to get a little anxious, we just lean in. And I think that's been a big benefit of the process for me. But aside from just the connection points with the group and Anita and the family, and it's just been awesome, dude. What's your favorite memory so far of working on Brighter Days?
I think I probably have a new one every day. We talked with the guys today. They're helping us with think about Amazon, and they were talking about your category that you're in, and they were super smart, and they realized that we don't necessarily have a category. We're trying to start a new category, and not to dive too much into the product side, but intentionally we've tried not to be a supplement company. I think when I first started researching this, I was so confused about supplements.
Sure.
There were so many ingredients. Everyone was telling that you need to take this for one symptom, this for another. And it was very similar to my cancer journey, where you had the doctors that weren't necessarily interacting with each other, but they were kind of doing their own thing. And we just kind of wanted to scale this back. We wanted to make it just as simple to understand as possible. Um, but it's not simple. I mean, it's super complex what we're doing on the science side, but we're distilling it down to the point where our customers, it can be simple for them to understand, right?
Sure.
And be talking to a partner where 15 minutes into the conversation, they understand that immediately, right? And dude, I don't pretend to be someone I'm not. I'm not in the optimization era. I'm not going to climb Everest, and I'm not going to, do extraordinary physical feats anymore.
What?
I just want something that's going to make me feel good every day, and to give my body the essential nutrients it needs. So kind of have other people see that too, where they're like, you know what? I'm kind of in that space. Like I'm burned out. Like I'm with you guys. And that's what we always say. There's always a seat at the table, right? Like we're doing this for everyone. And that's why we call it, daily nutrition for real life.
Yeah.
Right. And I know Anita kind of makes fun of me a lot when I say this, but like one of the aspects of the product is recovery. And we're not talking recovery from a marathon. We're talking about recovery from a Tuesday,
Yeah. No
right?
doubt. No
Those are
doubt.
tough, man. Tuesdays, you're not even at hump day yet, so it
Yeah.
takes a little extra effort these days.
Well, she makes fun of us for a lot of stuff appropriately, and that's fine too. But yeah, it is so interesting because when you think about the clinical space, you think about obviously that's so complex. Having gone through what you went through and what I did, watching and seeing and experiencing it.
Right.
Then you look at the supplement category, and I love the fact that we can meet people where they are in their journey, and it's approachable. And that's something that attracts me to this business. And I think our brand is approachable. I think the creative that we've worked on together is so far. I think people are leaning in. I think we've got to, in the spirit of reserving the right to get smarter, we've got to get even better and figure out different ways to meet people where they are on their own wellness journey because everybody's different. And some people, I think that the interesting challenge on this product is there isn't a tangible physical marker that says now it's working and before it wasn't because everybody's body's at a different level. And because these are the essential nutrients and they build over a period of time, you might have a different experience at week 2 or week 3 than I did or that I didn't. But so yeah, it's an interesting product, Bud, and the work that you poured into it over the toughest time in your life is paying off. And I have the utmost of faith in this, and it's been an absolute pleasure to work on, Bud.
Yeah, and I think the most interesting thing about it is they're just hard. It's hard. I think one of the things that we did coming up to launch was we put so much work into the operations side of it. And great. I mean, we've been successful amazingly with me as head of IT and you running a bunch of the other technology. We haven't had any glitches. But now we have to get out there and kind of create the category, not lead with science so much. I mean, that's kind of
Yeah,
the backup of it. It's more, like you said, it affects everyone differently where you are on your nutritional and wellness journey, which has been the most amazing thing because we kind of went out early for the whole body mental wellness, connecting the mind and the gut and optimizing that.
yeah,
And it presents itself so differently to each person, right? Where people are like, I don't have mental fog anymore. I don't take naps. I drink less coffee. I don't have migraines. Where you don't necessarily associate that with mental health, it's just kind of overall general health, but it's all interconnected. I mean, we've learned the body is such a complex system, and so people are going to feel differently about it. So that's kind of where we kind of went all in on just it's nutrition, it's
yeah.
feeling better, it's for real life. I just got back for a little southern tour with Asha, my youngest daughter, who's going to be a senior next year. We visited a couple SEC schools, and I try to eat well, man. I mean, it's not easy. I mean, we woke up in Auburn, Alabama. She had seen a TikTok of a new coffee place. So, like, oh, we'll go out there and get breakfast. So we drove out there. It's a drive through, and they don't have food. So we got our coffee, and then we ran right into the school. We had the tour. Everyone says, oh, it's Auburn. You have to go to Toomer's Cafe and get the lemonade. So we did, and it was a lot of sugar and a lot of lemon, and then there was no food there. Next thing you know, we're on the airport. We get there late. We're straight on the air. By the time I get on the airplane, they're coming by asking for what we want to eat and offering Cheez-Its. I mean, that was my only option.
Well,
But
let's keep Cheez-Its are a good option. Just
so
to be
they're great. They're
okay.
fantastic. But I mean, no matter how I planned my day, it didn't really go according to plan so much there.
Okay.
So, but had brighter days in the morning, so I at least felt like I was doing something to get my body in the right
Right.
place where it needed to be. And I think that that's the one of the things that we've done is like we just admit that it's not easy, man. You're not going to do it right every day. You're going to get to work and you're going to have packed your salad and your hummus and all your different food groups. And next thing you know, someone ordered pizza in the conference room,
Sure.
right? So it's hard to kind of live that way. But we're just like, hey, we're here to support it. We're here to support what the realities of life are.
No doubt, no doubt. I mean, my biggest takeaway from that story is Osh needs to start looking at Big Ten schools. I got free housing in Ann Arbor for her. I'm getting the room ready and everything, so it's just a matter of getting her here. So
That's
let,
true.
let,
You can help with the smoothies in the morning. She could tell
that's
you a
right,
few new
man.
things like throwing an avocado
That's
in
my
there.
go-to. It's very easy, very easy. Brighter days in a smoothie every morning. Little Greek yogurt. It works. It does the trick.
But we don't want to pound it too much on just kind of the product and everything. We figured we'd just kind of end it with a couple of speed round questions, kind of like Saturday Night Live last episode of the season. I don't know what questions you have. You don't know what questions I have. Um, throw them out there, man. Give me one, and I'll throw one right back.
What was your nickname in business school?
Earl.
Why? I don't even remember.
In college, that was just what I would tell people when I was out at night. My
That's
name
right.
was just
Yeah.
so
All
I
right.
had some buffer on
All
that
right.
somewhere, and it kind of stuck.
All right. You're up.
Um, I'm getting someone from upstairs yelling that I'm not live, even though it says I'm live
I'm live. I'm
here.
live.
So, all right, well, they're not live upstairs. So
That's all right.
it
That
says
could be
live,
it.
yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay.
So here,
There's the boss coming
yeah,
in.
here's the CEO coming down to make sure that we still have the wheels on the car.
Okay, sorry guys, but it's not showing live.
I think that's user error. Kelly Cox, KC says we're live, so I
KC
trust
says
her.
we're live. We're going with that.
Yeah. All right, here's one for you. What's your favorite Kansas song and why?
Oh, carry on, my wayward son. And it's because when you used to drop me off at school, you would roll the windows down and wait until as many co-eds were walking by, and you would just crank that tune and embarrass me. I do remember that. I remember that well. And every time that song's come on, I will never forget Red Cab, and that I still owe you plenty. You were Uber before Uber was a thing.
I was just thinking that. I mean, dude, we were the carpool specialist. I think I drove you to school probably 300 mornings for like
Yeah,
2 years
yeah.
until Anita and I started dating. Then you had to take the
Yeah,
bus.
and then I fell off that wagon quickly.
Yeah,
I love her, but that one stung a little bit. What's the dumbest thing we've ever done together?
dude, I was thinking about that the other day because some things that are happening right now. I thought the shopping cart ski jump in Park City was
Mm,
pretty stupid. Although we took every safety precaution possible,
yeah, I wore a
um,
helmet.
helmets, it worked out really well. I think it's going to come back because it just happened last week with running to the bulls in Pamplona.
Yeah,
Even though we mapped it out, well, especially given the fact that I had to run in with a different wild animal the summer before.
that's
Um,
true. That's true. I forgot about the grizzly. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So my parents weren't happy about that one, and they reminded me I got a text last week on it. So that was probably it, even though we really thought about it. But yeah, that was a crazy one.
Well, buddy, we got some good memories, my man, and we're making more as we continue to plow forward. I appreciate you guys so much.
You too, but I
I
got a couple more questions for you though. You're not going to get off
Okay,
that
I was
easy.
trying to cut you off. All
I
right,
know, I
fire
know. So
away. What do
here's
we got?
one. What's it like below the streets of Paris?
Oh man, it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. This is when I fell through a sewer grate in a rain. This was not my fault. That was not my fault. And
No,
then
it was the
that
government's.
it cut my leg open, and then T and Kel had to try to lift the sewer plate. Is it a plate? What's it called? Like whatever
It's
the big
great,
heavy.
great plate. Something
Got
that
it up
rhymes with
just
that.
enough for me to move my leg about 3 inches, and then slipped and dropped it again. So not only did I have one gash, I had two huge gashes. But I think we cut a T-shirt up and wrapped it around and called it good. I don't remember going to a hospital. I
No,
needed
I
to.
mean it's a minor limp. No one really notices it.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
so
We
if
had a
it's
good. Those European trips were good and bad.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, speaking of European trips and what's going on with the Tour de France right now, this one's kind of topical. But what was the best performance on two wheels that you've witnessed with your own eyes? It might have happened on spring break at some point.
yeah, in Hilton Head, right when they dropped off the rental bikes, and you hit the brakes and started skidding, and you looked back over your shoulder and gave us a woohoo. right when the front wheel buckled and you flipped over the top of it, and the rental guy is still standing there unloading the other 3 bikes off the thing. And wasn't that when your dad gave us the timeshare for the week too?
Yeah, we were like somewhere in Kentucky on our way to Panama City, and we like made a quick left turn to South Carolina.
That's right, because we
Sure.
called my aunt and asked her what the weather was like. Little did she
Yeah.
know, she should have lied and told us it was raining. But
Yeah.
yeah,
All right, dude. Well, you were trying to close it down before I opened it back up, but it's been fun, man. I appreciate you. It's awesome. Wouldn't want it any other way. We've got a great team. We've got a CEO that stops it every now and again to tell us we're not live.
just to correct us a little bit. Yeah.
Exactly. But I think we're doing all right. I think we're good. I mean, it's nice to have a parent around, but
Well, we need her responsibility and her brain and her grace. She is an awesome person to work with. I love her so much. So.
for sure. All right, buddy. Well, catch you tomorrow on the next one.
All right, man. We'll
Just
see if
spending
we can
time
invite
here.
it back. We'll see if we can invite it back to live if the ladies of KC and Anita are going to give us the mic back again.
I know we might not be as attractive as those two, but we'll make it happen one way or the other.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bud. Have a good night.
Yep.
See ya.
You too, bub.